Someone once asked me if I was superstitious, and intellectually, I would say no, not at all. I think it's nonsense.
But you are wearing your lucky underpants.
Exactly. How did you know, Kathryn?
No. Smell them. I'm just kidding.
Hey!
Jeff, it's so great to have you on Sunrise.
Thank you so much for having me.
I really enjoyed this film because it's this mix of being a thriller, but then being really funny. How hard is it to get that tonally correct? Because it seems like they're kind of at odds with each other sometimes.
Yeah, I get that question a lot. I think it has to do with, I have this tendency to try to find humor all the time in my life, even in really tough moments, and I think that's part of the human condition. You have to laugh, you have to find joy. Otherwise, it's just like it's too hard, right? And also, one of the filmmakers I admire the most is Richard Donner, and he worked in all these different genres. He never did a parody, he never did a broad comedy. His films would often go to very dark places, but he always found moments of humor, moments of levity, and I think it helps you connect with the characters. And so no matter what genre I'm working in, I try to do the same thing.
Yeah, it's, in many ways, I think it's quite an Australian characteristic. I think Australians are always looking for the funny moment in even in tragedy.
Yeah.
And we've always kind of nothing's that serious.
Yes.
And the more serious it is, sometimes the more hilarious it is. So I think Australian audiences will really connect with that.
I hope so. I hope so.
Do you try, because this is meant to be a really scary film, do you ever try and make it the set scary or set a tone with the actors that you're directing so that it can bring that that aspect out in their performance?
It's interesting that you said, because it's something I talk a lot about when it comes to directing. The camera doesn't lie. And so if a scene is supposed to be fun and light, I kind of feel like you need a fun and light vibe on the set with the actors specifically. So I'll try to create that feeling. If it's a very serious and intense scene, I don't try to scare people or anything, but I want a serious, intense set. I don't want people cracking jokes. That's the time to be serious, and because the camera picks it up. When I was making a student film, I remember I was shooting a scene where a guy was supposed to be awkward with this girl, but they were actually quite flirty and fun. And so I came over and kind of said something embarrassing to him because I wanted him to feel awkward again. Yeah. Because the camera shows what's really happening.
So true. I was actually watching something with Helen Mirren, and she was saying that it's got really nothing to do with what's happening here and everything to do with what's going on inside. So I think that really speaks to that. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your decision to cast Lucy Hale in this role, because people obviously know her from Pretty Little Liars, and why did you think she was perfect to play Olivia?
I didn't have to think it. I knew it.
Yeah.
She we were talking about potential leads. Her name came up. I thought she'd be great. Is she even interested or available? Not only was she interested and available, she came in and auditioned, which she didn't have to do. She blew us out of the room. And forget her resume and her millions and millions of fans. If she had just gotten off a bus from Tennessee and delivered that audition, I would have cast her on the spot. So not only is she incredibly successful, but she is phenomenally talented. So she just, it was hers from the beginning as far as I was concerned.
Isn't that so interesting? Because I think when people get to a certain level of celebrity, you think as an outsider that they don't have to audition or that they are riding on their fame. But her talent. What was it about her in that audition that kind of spoke to you?
Lucy is an artist. She's not interested in being an actress to be famous. She's an artist and she wants to act, and I get the impression that she would do it for free in a community theater production. She just likes to do it, and she is truly gifted.
It's so interesting hearing you talk about the whole kind of directing, filmmaking process. It sounds almost in many ways like a science, that you understand. Obviously, it's a huge art, but also you understand the importance of, fulfilling different aspects, that it's kind of quite scientific in a way. You seemed like quite a master of it, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I would not say that, but I appreciate it.
Yeah.
No, I think I definitely engage both my emotional side and my analytical side when I'm working on a project. You have to feel things. Often I'll be standing at the monitor and I'll try to block out the crew and I'll be looking at the shot and I'll be imagining the score and I'll check in with myself. I'll say, how am I feeling right now? Is this working? And sometimes I'll know it's not working. I couldn't tell you why. So my analytical mind hasn't kicked in yet. As you said, the scientific part isn't presenting itself. I just know emotionally it's not working. So then I got to figure it out. But I do love sort of I guess you would call it the craft.
Yes.
Because it's sort of it's an intersection of art and science.
Yeah.
And I think all great art forms have that. I mean, music is very, very much based in math.
Yes.
You look at oil paintings, our composition is often very mathematical.
Oh, it is. Even beauty, the Fibonacci rule of, it's all about
symmetry,
proportions and the image. That's so interesting. You seem to have this real strength in scary films, Are you someone who believes that there is such a thing as people being possessed or in haunted, homes, or did you grow up believing in that, or
I don't know. I mean, I go back and forth. Someone once asked me if I was superstitious, and intellectually, I would say no, not at all. I think it's nonsense.
But you are wearing your lucky underpants.
Exactly. How did you know, Kathryn?
No, smell them. I'm just kidding.
Hey, I want to borrow that one. No, I knock on wood before something happens.
Yeah.
I'll, like a big meeting, I'll say a little prayer. So clearly there's some part of me that is superstitious, but certainly my intellectual side doesn't believe in it at all. So I don't know, I'm probably split. I think I kind of believe it, but I don't want to believe it.
It's true. It's like you're like covering all bases.
Yeah.
The prayer's not going to hurt.
Exactly.
The lucky underpants, they might hurt though.
They are right now. They're a little crusty.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
lovely
Kathryn.
chatting with you.
It's a pleasure meeting you.